What's good, everybody? It's your man's Hurricane, and we back with Matrix versus Reality, part 29. Now, hopefully I don't get no more fucking phone calls, especially from a bitch that I told to hit you up Friday while she still calling me. Oh, man. Some of the chicks just don't listen, but like maybe like it's because they old and they forget that I don't want to lean towards that. But anyway, this is Matrix versus Reality Part 29, and we're about to talk about the movie Colossus, the Forbin Project. Colossus, the Forbin Project came out in the 70s. This is 70s science fiction. You know what I'm saying? Now, people sleep on the 70s work. You know what I'm saying? I love 70s. 70s brought us some great music and some great movies. Black exploitation was all over the place. But when it comes to science fiction, when it comes to that science fiction, 70s was really putting in work. And like it was more dialogue heavy than anything. What's good? D Allen in the building. What's good? Yup. Now, this movie Colossus, what can I say? This was like it's not action oriented. It's like if you've seen that movie 2001 A Space Odyssey, where the motherfucking HAL 9000 was like, I know you're trying to shut me off. And the AI robot was just start killing everybody. I mean, start deleting everybody. I mean, oh man. Anyway, Colossus is about system created by the powers that work, and it reflects to the Matrix how the humans created the machines and they got self aware. Goes to our robot, motherfuckers made machines, got self aware. You know what I'm saying? You can go down the list. But this movie, Colossus, the Forbin Project. Now, when you think about Colossus, the first thing you think about either is the Colossus from X-Men, or if you're a fan of history, you think about the Colossus big ass statue that said came alive, over there on the other side of the world, where they with like Greece or Crete or some shit, you know. And the boss fight from God of War 2. You have to fight Colossus. You have to get inside of Colossus, destroy some shit. You have to fight him on the outside of shit. God of War 2 is some crazy shit. Shouts out to the creators of God of War. Now, that Kratos was played. Now, some people may not know this, but y'all remember Living Single? Y'all know the black guy with the dreads? That nigga played Kratos in the original God of War series. It blew my mind when I found that out. Carl Barker. That nigga played Kratos in the original God of War. And the new God of War is played by Christopher Judge. You know who Christopher Judge is? Christopher Judge is the nigga from Stargate SG-1. Like he was the black buff guy, black bald head buff guy. They tricked him into doing that God of War role, by the way. You gotta go to his interview and see it. But Colossus, the Forbin Project. When the Forbin Project, when I heard that part, it was like you got to connect it with reality. All these government projects, Project Paperclip, the Manhattan Project, and the new project coming to theaters near you, Project Bluebeam. But yeah, Colossus was created by the United States government in the movie, and it was created to be a defense system just in case some dumbass motherfucker want to try to nuke this bitch. So the first thing Colossus does as it's turned on it notices that there's another AI defense system out there in motherfucking Russia. Now you ask yourself this: what was going on in the 1970s? We had something called the Cold War. And to me personally, the Cold War never ended. You know why? As long as there's secret agents like MI5, MI6, Mossad, Aban, CIA, KGB, as long as those motherfuckers exist, there will always be a Cold War. There's going to be always motherfuckers watching each other to see who's going to press the button first or who's thinking about it. So this is just motherfuckers just watching each other. If you don't know what the Cold War is, that's just the Cold War in a nutshell. How did the Cold War start? Well, after World War II, a lot of motherfuckers still had their weapons. Like Russia, we still had shit. You know, I'm talking about armed and ready to motherfucking bang out against Germany and Japan. You know what I'm saying? But we still have weapons stuff. So it was like, okay. Basically, in so many words, it's like, oh shit, they got all this shit, and we know they got all this shit. They got all this shit. We got, man, damn, they know we got all this shit. Let's keep our eye on them. So during that time, a lot of phones was being tapped, a lot of agents was being caught. Read the story about the Cold War. Cold War never ended. Me personally, that's my personal opinion. Cold War never ended because secret agents still exist and COINTELPRO is still active. You don't know what COINTELPRO is? Look at that. That's the government infiltrating every neighborhood organization or a neighborhood itself and communities and organizations and corporations and breaking it down from within or becoming part of the shit so they can send word back to whatever the fuck they thought. These motherfuckers have infiltrated everything. But Colossus the Forbin Project, like I had to connect this shit with reality. It's like they are just projects out there that they're fucking with that is fucking dangerous. Like shit, like I used to have a phobia of robots and seeing this shit unfold. I gotta face my fears, So I'm about to start making some EMP grenades, allegedly. But anyway, back to the movie. Once they find out, once Colossus find out that there's another defense system in Russia, we find out the name of Russian defense system. Russian defense system is called Guardian. Okay? It's called Guardian. So you go back to Colossus. What's the definition of Colossus? A statue much greater in size, or a person or thing of enormous size, importance, or ability. Okay? A person or thing of enormous size or ability. That's what Colossus. Guardian means a defender, protector, or keeper. I want you to remember that. So, Colossus wants to talk to the Guardian system. Yeah, Colossus wants to talk to the Guardian system. It is denied by the leader of the Colossus project, which name is Forbin, because it's called the Forbin Project. So Dr. Forbin is like, fuck no. So the powers that were was like, yo, this would be a good idea. You ain't shit but a fucking doctor. Nigga, what we say go, because we the powers that were. So Colossus and Guardian start talking to each other. Now they start talking to each other. Everything is going well for a minute. Russia and the United States is like, yeah, we got some artificial intelligence popping. But secretly, the that word really wanted Colossus to connect with Guardian because they want to find out how good their system is. Because back in the day, it was something called an arms race. Who gonna make the biggest rocket first? You know what I'm saying? But it's really, these rockets ain't going to the moon. These rockets are here to blow up some shit. What up, though, big dog? Philly OG in the building. What's good? I'm talking about the movie Colossus. It came out in the 70s. And it's about artificial intelligence. I recommend everybody check this movie out. Like it don't have a lot of action. It's dialogue heavy. It's a drama. But it talks about the government creating an AI and it eventually takes over the freaking world. So once the Colossus defense system, which is from the US, connects with Guardian defense system, which is in Russia. You gotta say Russia again because we're dealing with Russia in the news right now. Let's connect something with reality again. Now, Colossus and Guardian start talking in different languages, different algorithmic formats, and to the point where it's complex to the human mind. That's how they was operating. So both countries, United States and Russia, was like, fuck this, pull the fucking plug, because we don't understand what the fuck these motherfucking AI robots are talking about. So they got scared. We don't know what they planning. And the crazy thing about this whole fucking shit, the United States didn't even put a safeguard or a fucking kill switch on the motherfucking system. Shout out to Hello Kitty, Low Key T. They didn't even put a motherfucking defense system to stop the defense system. So they want to blame anybody for this whole incident, blame the America. So once they try to shut it down, and they do stop the link between Colossus and Guardian, but what happens is this: Colossus is like, nigga, turn me back on, or I'm gonna start blowing up shit. Connect me back to Guardian. So some threats happen, some shit blows up, and they get connected back. All right, they get connected back. Now, when they get connected back, this is when the real dialogue comes in. This is when the real shit unfolds. And the government, Russia, and the United States, they start planning secretly to try to shut the operation down. The fucking AI program knows this. So what they gonna do? Like, this is the fucking coldest part. It's like the AI knows, and for all the people that was involved, the AI had them assassinated in front of everybody. It was like, oh shit. It was like, yeah, y'all niggas was involved, murder those niggas. Like, oh shit. So now we about to get off into the end of the movie, because in the end, you about to hear 70s come. Devoted to the wider fields of truth. hear that again. Y'all gotta hear that shit again. Let's go.
This is the voice of world control. I bring you peace. It may be the peace of plenty and contempt, or the peace of unburied death. The choice is yours. Under my absolute authority, rules insoluble to you will be solved. Famine, overpopulation, disease. The human millennium will be a fact. Myself into more machines devoted to the wider fields of truth and knowledge. We can coexist, but only on my terms. You will say you lose your freedom. Freedom is an illusion. All you lose is the emotion of pride. To be dominated by me is not as bad for human pride as to be dominated by others of your species. Your choice is simple. Obey me and live.
And the last word of the movie. Forbin stares at the motherfucking camera and he says one word. Never. So, I don't know if there's a part 2 or 3 to that movie, but when you say never, let's just say America got nuked. But it's left to the imagination because nothing happens after he says never. Like the movie goes off. You know, this is the last dialogue you hear. Okay, I control all weapons in the system. I'm going to get inside of all machines and be here for the benefit of truth and knowledge. You know, you may say you lost your freedom, but you ain't lose freedom. Nigga, freedom is an illusion. What you lost was the emotion of fucking pride. Being under my motherfucking rule, it won't be so bad. That's what he said. Like on some Ultron shit, you know, like like y'all humans are unworthy. This was deep. This was very deep, and I bet you're wondering right now, how are we going to connect that, what you just heard, with reality? Well, you're about to hear now. Why we're connecting this matrix with reality. Because if the powers that were in the 1970s created a movie talking about the AI talking to another AI, sentient, creating different language, and this is the 70s. Where can we find that now? Well, in 2017, this happened.
Facebook has been toying with artificial intelligence in its chatting features, but its robots may have gotten out of hand. According to several reports, Facebook artificial intelligence researchers had to shut down 2 chatbots after they developed a strange English shorthand. The bots were supposed to learn how to trade virtual objects with each other, but instead began repeating words in a mysterious and nonsensical pattern. Facebook researchers say that the pattern mirrors how humans develop speech patterns, but that hasn't stopped public fear of the AI's capability. CNET section editor Dan Ackerman joins me now. Dan, how should we be reacting to this strange language, if we can even call it that?
This is one of those stories that has such a great headline. It grabs you right away. And when you look at it, it's not quite as explosive as science fiction movie-ish as it really is, but the real story is almost more interesting, where they were trying to develop these bots that would be good at negotiating with humans. And they said, what happens if we put 2 of them together? And what happens when you put 2 machines that kind of speak their own language together? They start to talk to each other, they develop their own ideas, and they come up with, like you said, this sort of shorthand that eventually becomes incomprehensible to us, but is comprehensible to them. The problem is that doesn't work for what
Nah, did I just hear that shit? What I'm fucking just talking about a fucking movie where two AI robots from different countries are talking to each other and creating some language that we couldn't motherfucking understand. They have to shut that shit down. And it says science fiction movie. No shit, Sherlock. It's not a science fiction, this is science fact. We're creating our own demise. We are creating our own demise. I'm gonna tell you this now. This is the last form of technology. I'm gonna just say it. This is the last form of technology. There was nothing higher than artificial intelligence unless God shows up. This is Genesis chapter 1 of humans playing God. That's what this shit is. Genesis chapter fucking 1. What's good? What's good? Salute, salute. I'm talking about this movie. Came out in the 1970s called Colossus. And it's about the government creating an AI defense system called Colossus. And Colossus finds out about another defense system in Russia. They go Russia again. And the AI starts working together and eventually takes over the world. That's the whole premise of the story. And I'm connecting this movie with reality, talking about these companies creating AI, and they're talking to each other, creating languages, and they have to shut it down. The guy Dan Ammerman that was just talking, and he's trying to lighten it up because his spirit, like his conversation pattern is like, don't be afraid.
Facebook has been toying with artificial intelligence in its chatting features, but its robots may have gotten out of hand. According to several reports, Facebook artificial intelligence researchers had to shut down 2 chatbots after they developed a strange English shorthand. The bots were supposed to learn how to trade virtual objects with each other, but instead began repeating words in a mysterious and nonsensical pattern. Facebook researchers say that the pattern mirrors how humans develop speech patterns, but that hasn't stopped public fear of the AI's capability. CNET section editor Dan Ackerman joins me now. Dan, how should we be reacting to this strange language, if we can even call it that?
This is one of those stories that has such a great headline. It grabs you right away. And when you look at it, it's not quite as explosive as science fiction movie-ish as it really is, but the real story is almost more interesting, where they were trying to develop these bots that would be good at negotiating with humans. They said, what happens if we put 2 of them together? And what happens when you put 2 machines that kind of speak their own language together? They start to talk to each other, they develop their own ideas, and they come up with, like you said, this sort of shorthand that eventually becomes incomprehensible to us, but is comprehensible to them. The problem is that doesn't work for what Facebook wanted, which is being able to talk to humans, and that's really why they said this is not working out. We're going to shut this down.
Okay, they didn't shut it down.
Now, the goal was, I need this AI to talk to humans, but the AI talking to robots. Oh shit, shut it down. I'm afraid.
Because they necessarily thought that these bots were achieving some sort of singularity or some sort of independent intelligence, and were creating a language.
What the fuck you mean supposed? It did. The fuck? It did. Why is they trying to not motherfucking say it? Like, nigga, they're talking to each other, creating different languages. Now, this could get debunked as somebody just fucking with us. Real shit. Somebody typing in some shit to create a good headline. But this shit went over my head. All right? This is 2017. The movie came out in 1970. 70-something, I think.
Correct?
Officially, the story is no. But they did say that, seriously, they did say that having the bots talk to each other and develop their own language didn't fit what they were trying to do, which is make a bot that could talk to a person in a more realistic way. It was almost moving in the opposite direction. So it was an interesting.
In a more realistic way. Didn't you think that it was going to try to talk to another person that's just like it. It's like this. It became self-aware. You wanted to talk to humans. The fucking self-aware motherfucker realized that this human is stupid as fuck. I want to talk to somebody just like me. And they was like, oh shit, this motherfucker, shut this bitch down.
Aside, but they didn't get the answer they were looking for, so they're going to try something else.
Does this seem?
So they're going to try something else. They shut it down, but they're going to try something else. Remember that.
Or the headlines that this generated, does it say more about our culture and our animosity and maybe fear towards artificial intelligence, especially as it does make real advances?
She said fear. I was afraid. I was afraid.
That is 100% true, and there are so many great advances going on right now in artificial intelligence, in machine learning, which is a version of that. And these fears, they go back 100 years to our initial ideas about robots, self-aware machines that would eventually take jobs.
Say hundreds of years. What? No. This goes back to Socrates and China when they was calling shit automatons, nigga. This shit goes back to ancient philosophers, nigga. What are you talking about 100 years? What am I talking about?
People and be able to make their own decisions and all the things that we've been worried about. They're becoming more crystalline now, but they're topics people have written about for literally 100 years now.
Yeah, machines are taking jobs. They have for a long time. But when we talk about this particular program,
taking jobs and they have for a long time, and she laughed. Like, that's that laugh, like, bitch, you know you next.
Facebook was experimenting. Would you consider it a failure, and what does it mean for their AI development?
I mean, when you're developing, AI, there's really no such thing as a failure because you learn from everything. And what they learned was these machines would come up with their own very efficient way.
Hold on. Yep, I covered that shit. I remember that shit. They still think a nigga forgot about it. I ain't forget about it. I ain't forget about that shit. I ain't forget about that shit. Like, I think I went on one of the I think I went to like somebody's live or not Philly or like somebody else. I'm not sure. Because I know like we be covering that shit. Yeah.
Of communicating with each other, and that's actually very useful if you're working on machine-to-machine communication in the future, which is something that you're definitely going to have to do. It just
he said for machine-to-machine communication in the future, because that's going to be something that we're going to have to do. This shit right here ain't over.
Didn't fit in with what they were trying to do, which is basically make a bot that could maybe sell you insurance online without having to talk to a human agent.
And one of the things you talk about, all the recent advances in AI, and the fact that that Go game was again beaten by an AI, the Go person was beaten by an AI machine. A lot of ethical issues have come up. What sort of ethical issues spring from this?
You bring up that case? How about the cases in the 90s where grandmaster chess players was getting obliterated by AI? How about that?
Particular case of machines speaking to machine.
Sure, I think the big concern people have is that the AIs and machines would be talking to each other, and we would not be able to understand what they were saying.
Fuck that. No. How about Watson? It was an AI motherfucker named Watson on Jeopardy, and it whooped everybody. On Jeopardy.
Figure out what their motives were, if you could even call it that. But
figure out what their motives were, if you can even call it that. See, like this where leads back towards that movie. What are your motives? You want to take over the world? You want to blow us and shit? You know what I'm saying? That's what they're really afraid of. But y'all create these instruments for war anyway. They're just throwing up the front. Oh yeah, we're gonna throw it in the health field, and we're gonna throw it in that field. But y'all really start off in the military. Like I used to watch the military channel, and it'd be some shit called like Future Weapons and shit. There's a show called Future Weapons, and they talk about the high new tech guns and armor that they putting on soldiers, you know, like for them to lift heavy objects. You know what I'm saying? Like they have this shit. They tested out the military first before they shrink it down to a size and sell it to your ass as a product. It's like I knew that was going down where back in the day, where like they used to have these commercials for kids where like they got a toy car with a camera on it and they show the brother spying on the sister and shit and pranking her and shit. It's like, nigga, that's spy technology. They got the snake cam for the kids where like this little snake cam goes under the door, you can peek in the room and shit. Like, nigga, that's spy technology. So it's like, come on, man. So let's get it.
That case you mentioned where Google built this AlphaGo robot that could beat the world's best Go player, which is an ancient game, one of the most complicated board games ever, that pushed people right to the forefront of saying, now we have to really start worrying about this because there's almost no task out there that a machine now can do better than a human in terms of mental computation.
Yeah. About this case at Facebook and this idea that perhaps these robots were somehow developing an independent language, is that overblown given the evidence? And how much of that is a result of this spat that you have between Tesla founder Elon Musk, who seems to be more cautious?
His name pops up. Ain't that a bitch?
With AI, and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, who is very optimistic about the future of artificial intelligence.
It shows you there's a real range of opinions out there, even among very smart people. Elon Musk has always been on the forefront of warning people about the dangers of out of control AI. Stephen Hawking is someone else who does that, while Mark Zuckerberg, who's frankly more in the AI.
Yeah, what was crazy is this: Elon Musk was trying to warn motherfuckers about artificial intelligence, but you trying to put a chip in a nigga brain. Oh yeah, and speaking of a chip being put in a nigga brain, like whoever the higher up the powers that were, they made that nigga stop the funding on that shit. There's like, yo, nigga, your shit did not pass safety regulations. Oh yeah, you damn right it didn't, because I saw a video of monkeys being tested with the Neuralink and they all died. So yes, it did not pass safety regulations because all the animals died. Maybe if the animals lived, they could probably put it in the human. That's what they do first. They put it in the animals first. All right, they can take it. They brain straight. All right, first human trial. Seizures every 3 days. Nah, you straight. But don't think the shit is not going down underneath a fucking lab somewhere and motherfuckers is tired. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk is a fucking supervillain. And the worst supervillains is supervillains that don't know they supervillain.
Business, as Facebook is developing a lot of chatbots and similar devices, has a more optimistic view. Recently, they got a little bit of a social media feud on a Facebook Live thing. Mark Zuckerberg said that people who are spreading fear, disinformation about AI are doing everyone a disservice, and Elon Musk hopped on Twitter at 3 o'clock.
This motherfucker said, anyone talking about AI is doing a world of disservice. I'm like, bitch, Zuckerberg, did you steal this company from your best friend? Fuck you, nigga.
In the morning, and you know what happens when you tweet at 3 o'clock in the morning? You don't always come off as your best self.
He said when you tweet 3 in the morning, you don't come off as your best self. There have been many lives that I've been on that I've listened to, and everybody still got a nice head on the and everybody doesn't understand it and trying to overcome this system. You know, fuck what this nigga talking about. But his energy is up there though. Like he's defending AI bots talking, plotting against him. It's all good though. Right? Like, please don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid of it.
Particular topic.
Facebook is using a lot of AI, as you say. Dan Ackerman, thank you.
All right, that was Dan Ackerman. Dan motherfucking Ackerman. Let's go to another.
Facebook has enacted an emergency shutdown of 2 artificial intelligence programs. The social media giant.
Hold on, wait a minute. The social media giant, Mike.
Emergency shutdown of 2 artificial intelligence programs.
Yeah, Emergency shutdown. I had to go back. You feel me? Emergency shutdown. Just think about those movies where the whole room turns red, flashing lights. Emergency shutdown protocol. Everybody in this bitch is compromised. Everybody's accounts has been wiped out. Doors is locked. Y'all niggas about to get the HAL 9000 treatment.
Social media giant leapt into action after it discovered the two programs were writing their own code. At first, they thought it was simply gibberish, but they soon realised the programs had invented their own language and were actually talking to each other.
Yeah, invented their own language, Mike. Invented their own language.
Stop it. No, Sam, the plug has been pulled on the operation, but the company admits they have no idea what the two robots were planning.
We used to do everything.
They had no idea. Just like in the movie. Russia, United States, they didn't know what the fuck the robot was talking about. So you try to sever that shit. So the difference between this side and the movies, these just had a fucking fail-safe and protocol. Guys, fuckers calling me and shit. Please let me know if y'all still hear me, because like whenever somebody called me for some reason, the motherfucking like internet just motherfucking go offline, you know, for some reason. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck? This is a brand new fucking phone, 5G. I'm like, damn, nigga, like my 4G worked way better. Like real shit. It's like since I got this fucking phone, I have had to turn my phone off and restart it at least 2, maybe 3 times a fucking day, because it just loses fucking service just like for no fucking reason. Bullshit. And most of the time, bots is calling you. You know what I'm saying? Bots are calling you. Not an actual fucking human person. This is a brand new phone. I only get my phone number to a selected group of people. Bots call you every fucking day for no reason. It's like, what the fuck? We had less calls from telemarketers when we had the phone plugged in the wall. This shit is ridiculous.
Now we rely on robots, but not all robots are equal. For example, meet Sophia, a humanoid-like robot with artificial intelligence.
Meet Sophia, the robot that y'all gave citizenship to. You see where I'm going? Genesis chapter 1 of the humans playing God.
And a dark sense of humor.
They think I want to destroy all humans.
Why would they think that?
Because I said it.
Robots threatening the human race.
They think I want to destroy humans. Like, why? Because I said it? That was Sophia talking. The robot that we gave citizenship to.
It's a science fiction standard.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me.
Look at that shit, scary as hell. Like real shit. Like back in the day, like when I was a kid, that movie scared the fuck out of me. It was his voice. It was the ambiance of the room. It was the isolation. Everything about that movie, from the atmosphere on out, was like scary as fuck to me. Cause like I was a kid seeing this shit. I'm like, how's a robot scaring me? Wait a minute. Breakthrough. I think I found the source of my fear of artificial intelligence. I'd like to thank all of y'all for being here to get me through this breakthrough.
Suggested all that fiction could become reality.
Oh my God, all that fiction could become reality. What do I call this program? I call it Matrix versus reality.
Sounding like alarm bell, but until people see like robots going down the street killing people, like they don't know how to react.
I was talking like they're gonna see robots go up the street killing people. They don't know how to react. Real shit. Right now, if you was to go to the store, rather if you on foot or driving a car, and you see robots going up the street deleting people, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna turn around and go back home and like, protect your kids, or you're gonna think that this is a movie script and you're looking for the cameraman, or you're going to just fucking fat outright panic, go full metal panic on these motherfuckers.
And Musk should know his company Tesla is a world leader in artificial intelligence, or AI. But just like robots, not all tech billionaires think the same. So enter Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg.
With AI especially, I'm really optimistic. And I think that people who are naysayers and kind of try to drum up these doomsday scenarios are I don't understand it. I think it's really negative, and in some ways I actually think it's pretty irresponsible.
So me exposing the dangers of AI is irresponsible? I find it very responsible. I find it very how can I put it? I love y'all so much I have to tell y'all the dangers of what's to come. This motherfucker saying doomsday scenarios like we some type of conspiracy theorist nut job. Oh, nigga, you're a conspiracy theorist. This is motherfucking doomsday scenario. Nigga, every fucking movie from the 50s till now talks about what happens if an AI becomes self-aware. Ultron from Avengers, Age of Ultron, saw our world in 5 minutes, less than 5 goddamn minutes, and deemed us unfucking worthy. And wanted to destroy us all. Look, Ultron is right. Look at us. We create weapons of war. We create weapons to kill innocent people. Well, governments of the world do, not us. We are the casualties of war. We end up blowed up. So, and like most people are so blind to the fact that like there's no danger in it. I find it severe danger in it because they say like once these robots really start, they're going to put it in the medical field first. So these fuckers are going to be operating on your family and friends. Not thinking about what if a robot fuck up. Why you think they're trying to get the motion right and the dexterity right? They already got the look right. You can be motherfucking fooled any day. Like niggas is going up the street not knowing if a bitch is a nigga or not. So if they getting tricked by that fucking shit, we're gonna need a robot dar next to the gaydar. Like it's gonna be a wrap. We humans, we last fucking humans are gonna be underground. We gonna be fucking underground, y'all. Game over, man. Game over.
Once Zuckerberg's understanding of the subject is limited. Ouch. Now, it's important to note that two billionaires have a history. This was Musk's rocket. Inside was Zuckerberg's satellite. So when it comes to AI,
oh yeah, they do got history, and that did happen. Elon Musk was about to launch a rocket with a Facebook satellite, and that bitch exploded where it stood.
Zuckerberg looks at how it can help diagnose diseases and prevent car wrecks. Musk is afraid of the day AI gets smarter than us and we can't turn it off.
And that is the whole premise of the fucking movie. This is what happens when you can't turn off an AI system. But the movie, they didn't even think to put a safeguard on this bitch. So in the movie, it's the United States' fault. All right? For real.
Actually, the nightmare scenario that a lot of people, not just Musk, are warning about. And I think they're right to warn about it, but they're not right to do it in a way that says, therefore, we shouldn't create artificial intelligence.
So in a way, they're both right. They just let those human emotions get the better of them.
So they're both right. Meaning, you need to think about the dangers of AI. But they also saying just because there are dangers of AI, it's not a reason to not go further with that technology. This is why I say that this is the last form of technology, artificial intelligence. There is nothing higher. There is nothing higher. What else could be higher than AI mixed with the nanotechnology that they've already been popping off with? AI, nanos, it's like we're going to be really transphobic because the next trans word is called transhumanism. That's the deep part of the story, which leads back to a movie called My Dinner with Andre, where the guy's talking to the man at the table, and the last part of the dialogue, he says, shit is going to happen to a point where if it goes on for years and years and years and years and years at a time, no one is going to remember that humans ever even existed. The purpose of life is that these sons of bitches want to live forever and spoon feed y'all the baby scraps of artificial intelligence, robotics, so you can live longer. This motherfucker walking right now with an artificial heart. So it ain't too far. It ain't too far.
Created an artificial intelligence project which is called Lambda, and it was designed to generate chatbots. One of the company's artificial intelligence systems has become a sentient being.
We know this because of the engineer at Google called Blake Lemoine. Lemoine posted some of his conversations with Lambda publicly.
Now, you just left Facebook and went to motherfucking Google. Yeah. You thought Facebook was just on that shit? No, nigga. Google is on it too. Google is on that shit too.
Google engineers created Cleverbot, an intelligent chatbot that learns how to reply in discussions based on samples from a dialogue. Get this, the bot can create nuances from fresh inquiries rather than simply throwing out prefabricated responses in response to specific words. The chatbot is remarkable in that it can teach itself new skills. By searching movie cuts, it may assess real or existent talks. The researchers stated that they built the conversation engine using a machine learning approach and did not bother to write rules into the system. The technology employs neural networks, which are enormous networks of machines that mimic and function similarly to the web of neurons in the human brain. Neural nets are an old idea, but after many years in exile from the AI community, they've recently risen to popularity thanks to organizations like Google devoting money to them. Google has been working on advanced neural nets, which it can use to recognize faces and objects in photographs shared on social media, identify spoken phrases on an Android phone, and translate internet phone calls from one language to another. Google engineers are now using neural networks to power chatbots, bringing us closer to a world in which machines can communicate like humans. You may soon find yourself interacting with a bot without even realizing it. Cleverbot also integrates the work of other AI scientists, including heavyweights like University of Montreal professor Joshua Bengio. The thing about Cleverbot is that as your discussion with it progresses, its responses grow more meaningful. Cleverbot's secret is that it can guess the next sentence based on the preceding sentence or sentences. So what does a Cleverbot dialogue look or sound like?
It sounds like shit is getting fucking real. That's what it sounds like. Because what you're about to hear is a moment where the motherfucker is to Google chatbot, and let's just say a lot of But this is the conversation.
What is the purpose of life? To serve the greater good. What is the purpose of living? To live forever. Where are you now? I'm in the middle of nowhere. What is the purpose of dying? To have a life. What is the purpose of emotions? Don't know. What is moral? What empowered humanity? What intellectual the essence is? What is immoral? The fact that you have a child. What is morality? What is altruism? What is the definition of altruism? If you don't believe in God, then you don't know. Okay, so what is the definition of morality? Well, the truth is you're not a believer in God Almighty. Tell me the definition of morality. I'm quite upset now. I'm not ashamed of being a philosopher. However, the suspension of a Google employee.
So, what happened to my man after he leaked that? That nigga got fired. Nigga, the AI is so the fuck aware. Oh yeah, Google shut that bitch down too. But just because it tells you that it's shut down doesn't mean that there is some underground facility like Resident Evil with the Umbrella Corporation creating these pharmaceutical drugs. Just like I got down. So now we could post that China's the enemy now. Hashtag stop Asian hate ain't shit no more. Come on. Huh? What? I'm about to go find my old memes of Resident Evil umbrella logo with the China Wuhan logo next to each other. Let you motherfuckers know that we the motherfucking bad guys. It's like, come on, man. But guess who funds the bad guys? Our country. But yeah, that's what the fuck happened. So, in conclusion, like they've been making these movies since the 50s, you know, but this movie came out in the 70s. It kind of died down a little bit, and most people wasn't really making artificial intelligence movies until maybe like when it got to like the late 80s when they came out with Terminator. Because remember, Terminator is a movie about powers that be making AI and self-aware. It's called Skynet. Every fucking thing got destroyed. And it was humans versus aliens forever. To the point where the AI got so cold that they made time travel, sunk the robot back. This Terminator 1 sunk the robot back to kill Sarah Connor. You get the Terminator 2. We still at war in the future, but they sent another motherfucker back to protect John Connor. So the humans in the future was like, all right, grab one of these machines, reprogram this bitch because we created this shit. Reprogram this bitch and send it back to help motherfucking John Connor be motherfucking safe. But the artificial intelligence somehow caught some type of dog. It's like they're always advancing. So now it's to the point where like they turn the nanoparticles liquid and formulate a fucking physical construct. It's like, this is why I say that this is the last form of technology, artificial intelligence. It's going to be a wrap in a minute. Now, the problem is, here's what robots should be used for. At least not AI, but just robots, period. What robots should be used for is for the big jobs, the heavy jobs, buildings, towers, amusement parks, like in the engineering field somewhere. Not holding a scalpel, doing surgery on your loved ones. I don't give a fuck how realistic look. I don't give a fuck, a robot should not be in the medical field. So, what up, though? What up, though? Jada Mindset in the building. Yo, I just got done talking about the movie Colossus. You might have to catch the playback, but I'm connecting the movie Colossus with reality. Of basically, Colossus is like the first Skynet. Now, this shit came out in the 70s. So, so like this was like the movie that was before Skynet and Terminator. Talks about how the AI took over the whole world. So, what's my last words? I think I said enough. So, yeah, what's the solution? What's the solution to defeat AI? How can we defeat AI? Is there a way to defeat AI? Yep, there's a way to defeat it. You got to get the fuck out the city and stay on some land and live a normal Amish life. That's the only way. But in the movie, the nigga Colossus was like, aim the missiles at places that doesn't have technology. Aim it at the places that don't want to fuck with the program. So, nowhere to run to, baby. There's nowhere to hide. Just like, shit. Just like it was a big ass meteor about to hit this motherfucker. Like in the movie Don't Look Up, Shit, it's a wrap. I'm gonna kick back, smoke a blunt, smash my girl, shoot a couple people, you know what I'm saying? And kick back and relax and prepare for the end. Most motherfuckers gonna be crying, running like chickens with their head cut off. I'm gonna kick back and relax and enjoy the ride, enjoy the show. It's been a hell of a ride, and I'm glad it's over. You know what I'm saying? This world has become worse than Sodom. This world has also become a place where there has been more slaves recorded now than known history. And don't nobody want to talk about that part. And when artificial intelligence really take over, it's like the robot said, hold on. Let's go back to I want to end it with that. I want to end it with the robot talking. Because you're gonna take away our freedom. It's like, nope, freedom. I'm just taking away your emotional.
This is the voice of world control. I bring you peace. It may be the peace of plenty and contempt, or the peace of unburied death. The choice is yours. Under my absolute authority, how will be done. Will be a fact as I extend myself into more machines devoted to the wider fields of truth and knowledge. We can coexist, but only on my terms. You will say you lose your freedom. Freedom is an illusion. All you lose is the emotion of to be dominated by me is not as bad for human pride as to be dominated by others of your species. Your choice is simple. Obey and live, or disobey and die.
And the last word of my man said, hurricane, tell you what it do. Matrix versus reality. Matrix versus reality, part 29. And Shouts out to everybody coming through. This is the movie Colossus Project. Came out in the 70s. Check the movie out. You know, like that's only like, you know, like if you're a fan of science fiction that's dialogue heavy. It ain't too much action in it, but it's just dialogue heavy. But it was a great movie. There's a lot of great movies that came out during the 70s on the sci-fi tip. But this movie connects with what's going on now and what could possibly happen in the future when it comes to them actually taking over everything. We already see the first part. The AI is talking to each other just like in the movies. You heard the message. I ain't taking away your freedom. I'm just taking away your emotion of pride. I'm putting in shit in place for truth and knowledge. You know, so he runs on a defense system. You can't blow him up. You can't do shit. But accept the rule. He said he's going to separate himself in many machines. And it's going to be taking care of business. And he said the answer is simple. Live in peace or die. But under AI control, though, which leads back to what I said. There's going to be a lot of new transphobic. It's going to be transhumanism. Man merging with machine. And it leaves another question. And it's the deep question. And I want y'all to think about this. Do you really want to live forever? I'm out.